Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. We are about to have a very interesting conversation, specifically if you are in the real estate industry or if you've thought about getting your real estate license. I'm going to put it out there that any real estate agent in the state of California, you should be, by the time you end your career, a multi-millionaire. You are in the business of working on real estate and you are in the market, and the market is ever changing. You have so much access to information, knowledge, all of that. So Omar, we're going to talk about why real estate should be and maybe why real estate agents aren't millionaires after being in the industry, let's say 10 years. Let's say a real estate agent in the market 10 years, you should be a millionaire, and many aren't. And we're going to talk about why and how comes and all of that. What do you think?
Oh, there's a ton that are not.
Most probably.
Yeah, most. And I have conversations with them, and it's nothing against them.
No,
but it's like this isn't a job. Let me be very clear. When you're a real estate agent in this business, it's not a job. Okay. It's a platform. It's a foundation to your real estate portfolio, to a real estate wealth. Majority of millionaires are made through real estate.
Yeah.
And you have the ultimate vehicle as an agent to literally get there quicker versus everybody else, but you're not taking advantage of it, or maybe your mindset's not there yet. And all you want is a commission check. Somebody told me a long time ago that not wages, but commission checks pay bills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Profits will end up making you millions of dollars because you're taking profits and you're buying property. And then there's depreciation next to it when you buy property. So when you make more, you don't have to give up so much to the IRS.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that you guys need to understand as a realtor, that making your steps in this game, but understanding that you're going to reinvest it in real estate, not in fancy cars that depreciate. Buy the cars, buy the other shit later when your properties pay for it.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Big difference. Big difference. I actually, when we were going through this, again, folks, these interviews we do with our experts, they're done in about 30 or 60 seconds when we pick our topics, right? So this one is awesome. And what I've been thinking about, it's funny enough, I was listening to some Grant Cardone videos, some older Grant Cardone videos this weekend while I was working out. And I'm struck by the fact that real estate agents could really mirror what he was doing in the beginning, right? When he was in Southern California before he went to Florida, he essentially had a business of teaching and educating. But what he would do is he would make his money and then he would stack cash, right? And he would put it all in real estate, right? And that is what led him, that routine is what led him to become what now is, I'm sure he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars on it, owns billions of dollars in real estate. But that's the mindset that I think real estate agents should have, right? Do your job, do your work, and then stack cash and then go put it in the asset that you know best, whether it's single family, duplex, multis, commercial, strip malls, whatever it is, office, who cares, right? It's just a mindset, right? Work your job, stack cash, buy assets.
That's it.
I mean, it's like an easy formula, but nobody does it, or very few do it.
Very few do it. I know a few people in my area here that, have done okay.
Yeah.
But they're 20 years, 30 years in the business. They have 2 or 3 houses. What's the difference? I mean, 2 or 3 houses doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Yeah. It's, especially
if you're in the real estate game.
Yeah. If you're in the real estate game. Yeah. If you're working a full-time job and you get to year 4, it's awesome. But if you're in the real estate game, like every day you wake up and you're in the real estate game every day, that's your thing. You have the ability to network and you have the ability to meet other people. You have other real estate events. Just imagine the people you can rub elbows and bump into. Just think about the mentoring, just the experiences you would have over a decade, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the other thing that you hit on that I think we should just talk about is it's something we'll do in episode 3 in more detail. It's what I call the rat race. But one of the things that I have seen, because I've been in a commission-based business for 30 years, is people don't treat those commission or bonus checks with the same mentality their paycheck is, right? So I was in a business where let's just say I made $50 an hour, $20 an hour, whatever it is. But my commissions could be significantly more than that, right? Nobody in my industry lives on their base, at least not many do. And they all rely on these little lumps of money. We lived on my base so that we could stack the commissions. What you need to appreciate is those commissions are lumpy. Sometimes you don't manage your pipeline well and you have big gaps. But folks, don't increase your lifestyle because you just got your best commission check ever. How many agents have I seen and other sales reps? They have one good quarter and they go buy a 740 BMW or a Tesla or something stupid like that just makes the rat race bigger, makes them have to hustle more, and they really inflate their lifestyle to their best month or best quarter, and they're done. They're stressed forever.
And they're not stressed in a good way, Michael.
No,
they're stressed on a depreciating liability, right? Mm-hmm. Versus an appreciating liability. That was the difference. Is like I was stressed out of my mind for a long time, but it was for houses.
Yeah,
that wasn't for cars or anything. And when like literally, I took that quarter, whatever I had made, mm-hmm. and literally stayed like just like you, my base. I was $3,000-4,000 a month or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But that's all I lived on, beans and rice. And I took all the big chunks, 40% down, 30%, whatever it was. And that's what I ended up doing just in your, just like you modeled you.
Yeah. It's funny, folks. Again, people in real estate that are successful kind of do the same things, different markets, different twists on it. But again, the whole idea about it is getting on the property ladder, controlling assets and holding for the long term.
Controlling assets. That is the key.
Yeah,
you got to get them.
Yeah, you got to get them. So folks, if you're in the real estate industry, you've been there 10 years and you're not a millionaire, I would ask you or challenge you, what are you going to do different the next 10 years? What are you going to do?
You have to ask yourself. Check yourself, please.
Ask some hard questions, right? And again, if you're in the real estate 1 or 2 years, what are you going to do the next 8 years? And I think the 10-year mark's the number, right? The owning assets, owning real estate, it has cycles. You need time to build wealth. I think 10 years is a great mark. If you're in the real estate business, that's your thing for 40 hours a week or whatever it is, you should be a millionaire inside of a decade. Do you think that's reasonable?
Inside of a decade, you should have a net worth of $1 million. Yes.
Yeah. And that's via buy and hold rental properties or Airbnbs or whatever it is, mm-hmm. right? Find your thing. Any other coaching you'd give that real estate agent? Maybe let's think about a real estate agent that's just thinking about getting in the game. What would you tell that agent with that target of being a millionaire in 10 years? What would you advise them?
Oh, your surroundings, your proximity of people that have already done it. Mm-hmm. Somebody that's willing to obviously share with you too, because honestly, there's some people that made it or that do well, but they're a closed book.
Yeah.
Meaning they don't want to share.
I hate that.
I hate that too. And honestly, like I'll ask questions, but I had a gentleman here in my meeting yesterday, brand new person. He's in the law enforcement business and he's getting into real estate. And I said, this is perfect. He wanted to be a millionaire. I'm like, okay, the vehicle is here, but it's what you put into the vehicle that's going to get you the return. Meaning pay attention, take notes, figure out what other people are doing. And if someone's sharing their knowledge of 18 years, me, myself, I was sharing to the group, pay attention because I will deliver. You will deliver, Michael, which you do already. And just understand that it's going to take a process. You can go work for someone for 5 years and not make, you can still make a great living. Okay. As long as your expenses are low. But if you're in the real estate game, know that you're going to have a lot of peaks and valleys. But what are you going to do when you get those lump sum of commission checks? What are you going to go buy? Try to reinvest it. That's going to be the difference.
Yeah, totally agree. And let's talk about that real estate agent that's been in the business 10 years. They make a living, right? So they're not stressed. They have a book of business and referrals, but they're not a millionaire. What would you tell them?
And they're not a millionaire and they have referrals. Then they've been probably living above their means.
Yeah.
Because
they count on those chunks coming in.
Yeah. Right? Like you're living on the chunks instead of living like normal, right? And then investing the chunks. Like that's literally like, that's this business.
Yeah.
it's education 101 in real estate. But if you don't know it, there's a lot of common sense there, but
Yeah.
it's not very common.
Yeah. When I tell someone, again, I've worked in sales again the last 30 years, and there are people that for whatever reason, they're comfortable hitting their number, right? In my business, we always had this thing called a quota, right?
Right.
It was $1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, whatever it is, right? And for whatever reason, I ran into many salespeople that are just happy to be 101, 103%, right? They kind of do that 4 or 5 years in a row. So they're never at risk of losing their job, but they never really make any money, right? If you're doing 100% of your number in software, it's like, it's a horrible, if you're only making 100% of your money in software, you have a horrible life because it's so stressful every 90 days. It just sucks. The only time my old career was any fun is if you did 200% or more. Because if you do 200% or more, it's in accelerator money. And you could put up with a lot of junk when you're in accelerator money. But yeah, I would tell someone who's just comfortable doing 100%, what do you want? Right? Because if you just want to do 100%, I'm not going to help you. I don't live there, right? I start day 1 or day 2 of every year going, how do we do 200%? That's just where my mind's at.
Right.
But if you're that person, go ahead. It's just like the person who wants to work 40 hours for 40 years. If you're happy with that, awesome. Can't help you. Not where I want to play. So I would ask that 10-year vet, what do you want? If you're happy, you have a good life, go nuts. I'm not your guy. But if you're ready to make a change, we've got to evaluate what you've done the last 10 years because it ain't working.
No, not working at all. Yeah. And you know what? It's funny. I posted something and it resonates here with this. And it's can you do more or are you just doing enough?
I love that.
Can you do more or are you just doing enough? And honestly, that's something that,
that's awesome. I like that.
Because we were talking about it yesterday in the meeting and it's just like, you guys just barely want to get by.
Yeah.
It's that accelerator money that you said, which I like that because it's the step above that 100%. Sure, you can hit your number, but what else are you doing to compound that? Imagine if you hit your number plus 2 or 3 or 4% every single day, compounded over 30 days, 365 days a year. Now
life is good.
Exactly.
There you go. Well, Omar, do me a favor, man. How can people be a part of your world? And again, if they are in the high desert, they need to join your team. I'll say it right now. They need to join your team. How should they reach out to join your team?
Reach out to me on IG at Omar_Alfaro, or you can call me 760-559-9945.
Very cool, man. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Thanks.